Hello, welcome back to another episode of That Starts With You podcast. And today we're going to talk about you are not meant to do this alone. So this is actually coming top of mind for me because I just hopped off of a session with one of my very first business mentors, one of my very first business programs when I got certified as a coach, and I was in that space of how the heck do I turn this into a business, right? And so for me, a little bit going back to my story where it was like I worked in corporate, I worked for organizations, and I loved it until I had that moment where I was like, there's something else I want to do. I feel this pull. I feel like there's this impact that I want to have that I'm not having as much here. And so I start looking into coaching, and I had a leader who was a coach and kind of took that coach approach. And I knew I wanted to do speaking, and I knew I wanted to write a book, like all these things I wanted to do. And then when I decided to take that leap and get into coaching, I knew that I couldn't do it alone. I knew that I couldn't figure it out on my own. And I also knew that I wanted the tools and the resources and to be skilled up in the things that I needed to do to actually help clients and help move people forward. And so I researched and I studied and I went through and found a program that not only felt aligned, but that was really credible. And for me, knowing that I wanted to work with organizations, it was accredited by ICF, which is the International Coach Federation. And then I went through, and it was a very vigorous program, but we had mentors, and we had practice, and we had in-person things. And I felt so confident coming out of that training in my coaching skills, right? But again, I knew that I could not do it by myself. I couldn't figure it out. So then I get this coaching certification, and I go, well, now what? Right? Like, now what do I do with this? Okay, I know I want to coach people. And I remember as it new, like I call myself like a new baby coach when I first got started. I was like, I can help you with your everything pretty much. I was like, I want to help everybody. I can help you live a better life, and I can help you with your potential and all of these things. And the thing is that the people didn't just come running, right? That's what you learn when you really start to run a business is you might be really good at the thing, but you also have to be good at running a business. And so I didn't really know how to do that. I remember thinking like it never had even crossed my mind years before that I would ever run a business. I was like, that just was so far beside who I thought I was, which is why we also talk about redefining who you think you are and what the boxes that you put yourself in. And so I had kind of stepped into this, like I didn't really step, I kind of leapt into this new space, this new box for who I was going to be. But I knew that I couldn't do it alone. And so, through my program, we had different kind of business coaches and advisors and things that had gone through the program who then started kind of running programs for coaches to help them get their business up and running. And there was one that I had followed for a while. I'm usually one to research and I hopped on all of her, free trainings that she had. And I said, I just was telling her today in her group that I joined that I was like lurking for quite a while. But here's again, I had that moment where I go, I know that I can't figure this out on my own. And I should rephrase it. I could figure it out on my own, but I knew I was going to hit even more roadblocks. I knew that it was going to take me longer. I knew that I was going to have those times where I wanted to hit my head against a wall or rip my hair out, and I needed somebody to help me in those moments. And there was a lot of things that I didn't know how to do. And the thing is, I do believe that we can all figure those things out, like good old Google and now ChatGPT and all those things. But having a real human and a person and a community of people to support you is huge. And I really do believe that we are not meant to do life on our own, but we're also not meant to take on challenges and try new things and put ourselves in these situations on our own. And so I ended up signing up and joining when it was a really scary investment at the time. And now I've kind of keep flexing that muscle of investing in myself over and over and over again, because as I had shared with her group today, as your business changes and evolves, and as you change and evolve, your business has to kind of grow with you, and you kind of go in one place, and then you got to kind of grow with where your business is. And so you need to be continually making the investment, whether it's your business or it's in your personal development, in your leadership and your growth. And so I made that decision. And so it was kind of cool to come full circle. And she invited me to join. She's doing one of the launches for her next program. And I've done this for her twice now. It's been just so great to reconnect with her, and I really believe in what she's doing. And I shared with the group. So she said, can you come on and talk to the group a little bit about your experience, in the program and what it did for you? And it's so fun to just look back and to see how far I've come. And I challenge you to do this too. Like if you've gone through a program or a certification or a training or anything like that, is to go back and see how far you've come since you did that. Because it was really fun for her to ask these questions of like, why did you get started? What made you decide to join this program? What was your niche that you started in? Where are you now? And it's on those days that it's really, really hard. And for all of us, right, we have those days where it's just like, it's so hard. Like, why am I doing this thing that I'm doing? To be able to go back and be like, wow, I really have made a lot of progress. And I look at where I was and look at where I am. And what I shared with her group, and I said, like, I promise, she didn't pay me to say this, but I said, is like, I couldn't have done it on my own. And I say that because having someone there to support you and again, to answer questions and to help remove those roadblocks, and I always believe in like kind of expediting the process. And I don't believe we're meant to figure it all out on our own. Like, let's take the things that people can help teach us and help support us through those things, because you're going to have in whatever you're doing, if you're trying to grow or stretch yourself into a new area, whether it's a business or in relationship or it's a personal thing that you're taking on and challenging yourself to do, like you're going to have those moments where you go, what am I thinking? Like, what was I thinking? And if it's a really big challenge, you might have that more often than not. And sometimes, we kind of get stuck in that rut, and to have other people around you to help you see like that way out, like throw you down a ladder or kind of guide you or just be there for you. I just really believe we're not meant to do those big challenging things alone. And it was just so fun to go back and reflect. So I wanted to share that with you for a few reasons. For first, it's fun for me to go back and reflect. But again, I want to challenge you to think about like if there was something that you wanted to achieve 1 year, 2 years, maybe more ago, and you've done it now, like give yourself time to actually go back and go, wow, look what I did do. Even if you don't feel like you're exactly where you want to be right now, like look at what you have done already and how far you've come. And also, if you're in the place right now of going, I want a big thing, I want this challenge, I want this new opportunity, I want this new growth, I want to step into something that feels so scary, you're not meant to have to do it all on your own. You're not meant to take on the whole burden on your own. There's so many people that can support you, whether that's family, whether that's friends, whether that's coworkers, whether that's your team, or there's people you haven't met yet that you need to intentionally put yourself in a space or in a room with them to help you. That's what it's about. Like, I really believe that, and I would not be where I am, and I shared that with the group, and I share that with every program I've invested in, with every coach I've worked with every development I've taken, books I've read. I would not be who I am or where I am without those things, and I believe that to be true for you too. And so that's the same thing. Like, if you want to get to where someone else is, or if you've got these goals of things that you want to achieve, we need to have different tools in our tool belt to help us there. I was actually just also today, I was doing some energy leadership debrief assessment results for some clients, which this is one of the assessments that I use with a lot of my leadership teams, a lot of my leadership clients, is this energy leadership. And what I say is this is a different type of assessment. This is an attitudinal assessment, and it's another tool in your tool belt. So if you've taken other assessments, or if you've read books, or if you've taken courses or development things, these are all tools that we are collecting, and we can kind of pull them out and use them as we need them. And it's the same thing with surrounding yourself with people who can be there to support you and can be another tool, another resource for you. And on the days that you're just like, I don't know, like they can remind you or they can help you to see the way. And so I challenge you to think about, are you taking all of it on and feeling like you need to do it all on your own? And do you and kind of challenge yourself to think about, what are you saying to yourself if you think you want to ask for help, or what comes up for you when you think about asking for help? And I would challenge you to think about, like, in what area of your life right now do you need a team? Or in what area of your growth that you want do you need to find those people? Because you're not meant to do it all on your own. You're not meant to carry it all on your own. And you can get that help to support you and have those people to go to support you. And that is the thing that's good. I mean, if you look at anybody in the space of a place you might aspire to, maybe it's a level within the organization you want to be in, or maybe it's someone who has a business you aspire to, or a speaker or an author, and it's like, I want to go there. Now, I haven't interviewed all of them, but I can pretty much guarantee you that they didn't get there on their own. They got there with community, they got there with connections, they got there with support. So who do you need to have on your team to help you? Because you are not meant to do it all alone. That's my message for you today. Of course, always my invitation to, if you are somebody who's looking for that support, if you're looking for that team and you have those goals that you're trying to achieve, you have those struggles, send me a message. Let's have a conversation about what it looks like to work together and partner together. You know, we offer coaching from leadership for perspective. We offer speaking coaching for people who want to really grow into speaking, to grow into their business. We offer leadership assessments for you to become more aware for yourself or your team. So that's an invitation for you. If you feel like I have this big, sometimes we call it like big, hairy, scary goal, or this big audacious thing that you want to achieve for yourself or for your team, and you don't feel like you have the people in your corner to help you see those blocks, to hold up that mirror for you, to help, you know, get you out of that kind of like pit of despair that we're in sometimes, I'd love to connect and see if there's alignment for us to support you in that. But really think about that and challenge yourself to think about, am I feeling like I have to do it all on my own? Because there's so much amazing and I'd say like beauty when we release the expectation that we should have all the answers, and that if we want to be the expert, that we need to figure it all out of ourselves, and realize that everybody who has gotten to a place you want to go to has done it because they have tapped into their community. They've tapped into their resources, and the kind of, you know, bringing this hive of minds together to really achieve their goals. So hopefully this message is helpful for you today, and I cannot wait to see you again on the next episode of That Starts With You podcast.